Now, pleased to be joined on the call by the head coach at UAlbany, Jared Ambrose. Good morning, Jared.
Good morning.
Good morning. A crazy Saturday for you guys. I've never seen the weather situation where you start so late in the game, but you guys come up a little short. 37-32 at Delaware State. Before we talk about the game, just talk about one, how tough it is to lose, but how you guys handled all those weather delays late in the game, stopping and starting so many times, and then having a 3+ hour one to play the last 2 minutes.
Well, it certainly wasn't on my bingo card, Rob. We take the lead in the fourth quarter, seemingly it kind of conquered the momentum as well. And randomly, in a sunny day, they tell me that there's lightning striking somewhere without a cloud in the sky. So we went in the locker room for what seemed to be about 45 minutes. We're in and out, in and out, in and out. Their locker room setup there was like a little portable classroom type thing. Not a cloud in the sky. They brought us out and played for about, I don't know, 8 or so plays. A couple of their guys went down, and then they called it again. And that time, there was a band of storms coming up from, Eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, that just kept coming until about 8:15, and that was about, I want to say it was around 4:15 when we left the field. So, you try to occupy your guys. We had to feed them. Our players did a really good job staying locked in what we had to do, but ultimately didn't get the final result we wanted.
Yeah, but I was going to ask you about that, how you were able to handle that situation with the, whether it's food or keeping them occupied. But just talk about the game itself. It was a back and forth game that you guys were in throughout. Just kind of give me your impressions on the game itself.
Yeah, we started fast. Second play of the game, Tavari Groves had a 75-yard touchdown reception. Felt like we were going to get out and get ahead of them and hopefully get home at a reasonable hour. But I think we got a little complacent. There were some opportunities we had to make some turnovers early on in the game on defense, and we missed them. And offensively, we weren't efficient enough on our first down, so we let them stay in the game. Their quarterback is a phenomenal player. He is dangerous. He's really fast. He can deliver the ball. So as the game wore on, we probably let him stay around too quick. We scored right before the half to make it 2014 and came out in the third quarter and just did not execute offensively. Too many 3-and-outs, and they took the lead. And as we went in the fourth quarter, our first two possessions we had, we scored touchdowns. So ultimately, you got to play more consistent ball, but you can't take anything away from them. Their quarterback was phenomenal.
Let's start with your offense. Your quarterback was awful good too. Jack Shields, 4 touchdown passes, 1 touchdown rushing. What did you like about the way he played Saturday?
I liked that when we had opportunities to make some big plays, Jack was able to capitalize on it. He's really grown into the offense and being a good leader and a consistent presence for our guys. He's dangerous both with foot and arm. Right now, Jack's making really, really good decisions on how to protect the football. He's not putting us in limbo of creating turnovers back there. So if he keeps doing that, I think we'll see the tide turn here.
You had a bunch of receivers that had big days. He was spreading around, but you mentioned Tavari Groves had the long touchdown pass, had another long catch. Young guy for you. What does he bring to your receiving group?
A lot. Tavari is a very intelligent player as well as a great athlete. Played in a great high school football program in Maryland. Actually, ironically, played a little bit of college ball with his head coach, so that kind of helped a little bit. But he goes by Tick. Tick, he just has a real knack for being smooth and quick and making hard plays. I mean, the second catch he had was just a 7-yard route, but the ball was behind him a little bit, and he reached out. 2 guys converged on him. He made a miss and ran for about 30 more. So I see big things for Tavari. He's one of a couple dangerous guys we got in the room, kind of like Coach Cal has. We just got to keep growing. He's still a young player.
Defensively, you touched about the difficulty of slowing them down, especially that quarterback. But a massive day for Abraham Sonogo. 3 sacks, 4.5 tackles for loss, made plays all over the place for you. Just talk about the afternoon that he had.
Yeah, Abe's an high energy guy, high effort guy. He's always around the ball. He battled through some stuff in the game. Proud of him. He showed some toughness that we embrace here. But Abe was able to, get at least one of those sacks due to us rallying towards the quarterback in the pocket and, getting him off his platform, getting him out of position. The Ballin Sama Kamara and Zakar Morris also were pushing the pocket a lot. And, making it hard for that guy to exist back there. The unfortunate part is when he got out of the pocket on some of those, he really hurt us. And we got to be better tackling. Tackling is such a vital part of this game, and we preach it here, and we didn't get it done as far as being a good tackling defense, and I think that would have helped us.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. You're probably not going to see any more of an athletic quarterback than he did. What made him so difficult? It seemed like he was better the more things broke down.
Yeah, I mean they had a couple design runs for him that we kind of snuffed out and stopped pretty easily, but he was really making some off script plays, when and we were good in coverage. They didn't throw the ball particularly well for the second week in a row. It was just when, that play kind of broke down. He's got a, nifty way of being able to get out there and get into space and, be really, really dangerous. Yeah, I'd say he's almost Michael Vick-ish, not to take anything away from, the greatness that's Mike, but you know, he had magic Saturday night. I mean, even the last play of the game that he had, I wouldn't have thrown the ball. There was about 40 seconds left, and I think it was second 6, and they called pass. And they're down 2, and he gets out of the pocket, makes 3 people miss, and runs for a 35-yard touchdown, which I was pleased about because at least we would have had a shot with the ball instead of running out the clock, kicking a field goal, and then just taking your 7-hour bus ride home. But um, he's electric, man. I don't know what else I can say about him.
Let's turn ahead to Saturday. You finally get to play a home game with New Haven coming in. Just talk about some of the challenges they present for you.
Yeah, I mean, I've coached against their head coach when he was a defensive coordinator at Fordham. They play a really aggressive style of defense, a lot of pressure, a lot of man coverage. This program's up and coming. They've been successful at Division II level for seemingly forever. And Division II football at the high levels is good quality ball. Offensively, their quarterback's throwing up PlayStation numbers. I think he threw for 370 yards against Marist, and he put up some good numbers the other night against Mercyhurst. They got good receivers, good backs. It's a solid quality opponent. They just, well, much like us, got to find their footing, and you got to start growing in the right direction in some of these games and finishing them.
How excited are you guys to be able to play at home on Saturday?
We're really excited. We got 6 home games this year. We love playing at our place, waking up in our own bed, being in front of our own fans, and we do a good job up here. Putting a good environment together for the game. So our players are, really, really excited. For the next 5 weeks, we play New Hampshire on the road in 3 weeks. So we should be able to sleep in our own beds for every night except for one for the next 5 weeks, and that's big for us.
After the 0-2 start, how much do you feel like your team needs to win? As you said, you get the schedule sort of turning in your direction, and I know you feel like you got a pretty good football team. What's the message this week and keys to getting the win and getting rolling?
We got to commit to our preparation. We got to finish a ball game. The first week against Iowa, that was obviously going to be a tough task. You heard Coach Cal talk about these pay-up games. They're always tough. You got to get them into the late in the game so you have a shot to win. And then, we lost a heartbreaker Saturday night. So we're right on the cusp. We think if we can just start to stack them, get one on our side, we might be able to get on a roll. We got a really good group of kids here who work really hard to play high-level football. Now we just got to finish a game.
All right, Jared, thanks so much for doing this with us this morning. Good luck on Saturday, and I look forward to talking again next week.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.